Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom to the World Wide Web. Thank the Most High for another Sabbath that He has blessed us to come together and praise His name and His Son's name with the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
Praise.
1 Kings 8th chapter, 2 Chronicles 6th chapter give us a direction to pray. We pray toward Jerusalem, not to Iraq. We ain't Muslims. 1 Corinthians 11 gives us how we should pray. And Daniel 6th chapter tells us 3 times a day we should pray to the Most High with full supplication.
That's right. That's right.
And with that being said, let's get our prayer over.
We'll give this prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of His only beloved and begotten Son, our uncrowned King, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, locally known around these parts as Jesus the Christ. Long live the King!
Long live the King!
Reading in the book of Psalms, the 137th chapter, and it reads, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept, and we remembered Zion. We hanged our hearts upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dashed thy little ones against the stone.
Hallelujah!
Oh yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Seems like things are going to be interesting.
This old Snoop blows right up out the way placed. All right, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Today's class is just a personal observation because we know that even though we're not in the world, we're still supposed to know what's going on. Even though we're not in the world and we don't participate in the things that the world does, we're still supposed to be watching for the signs of things that are going on. So the class is called Signs of the Fall of Babylon. This is just a personal observation of mine. So it's just what we're going to see is when Babylon falls, are these things going on right now? We're going to take a look at the comparison. We go into the script, and then we're going to do a little kind of a CNN report of just hitting on some news items. So, for my understanding, I've always, when we were growing up, before we came into the truth, we always heard about Babylon, but nobody never described it. So it was still kind of a mythical place from that Christian sanity standpoint. So what I thought I'd do first is I went to Wikipedia, and I'll just read the definition of what Babylon is, and then we're going to go into script. All right, according to Wikipedia, Babylon was a key kingdom in ancient Mesopotamia from the 18th to the 6th centuries BC. The name-giving capital city was built on the Euphrates River and divided in equal parts along its left and right banks, with steep embanks to contain the river's seasonal floods. Babylon was originally a small Akkadian town dating from the period of the Akkadian Empire, 2300 BC. The town became part of a small independent city-state with the rise of the first Babylonian dynasty in the 19th century BC. After the Amorite king Hammurabi created a short-lived empire in the 18th century BC. So y'all understand where we're going with this Babylon, all right? So now let's get into the script. So we're going to go to Joshua chapter 7. We're going to read chapter 7, verse all to start out. I got some on last night. I feel like I missed the first time.
Joshua 7.
The scriptures are right there.
The book of Joshua, chapter 7. But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. For Achan, the son of Kamar, the son of Zadok, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took up the accursed thing, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, against the children of Israel. And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ahai.
I call it Ai. Simply Ai.
Ahai, which is beside the Bethlehem, on the coast of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, Go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ahai.
So right here, what you all, just to give you the background, what's going on, they had already let me get it right. They either just won the Battle of Jericho or the Battle of Jericho was coming next. Okay, so this was a battle that they were going to go out into. Read on.
And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, Let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ahai, and make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but few. So there went up thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ahai.
Okay, so those in those last two verses, he's saying it's only a few of them people up there. We ain't got to send all Israel just to smite them few people. So just send 2,000 or 3,000 men to handle that business, right? And then we just read that those few men, 2,000 to 3,000 that went to Ai to conquer it, ended up fleeing before them. Okay, so we see that now Y'all go handle that business, and they ended up getting chased off.
Right.
Read on.
Verse 5. And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate even unto Shebarim, and smote them in the going down. Wherefore the hearts of the people melted, and became as water.
So now they done lost all faith. Read on.
And Joshua rent his clothes, and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of the Most High until the eventide. He and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their heads.
Mm-hmm.
And Joshua said, Alas, O Yahweh power, wherefore hast thou and all brought this people over Jordan, to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us? Would to Elohim we had been content and dwelt on the other side of Jordan.
So Joshua now is wondering, Lord, you brought us out here now over the river Jordan, and we go into battle and we lose. Did you bring us out here to die? What? Tell me what's going on, because he's not understanding how they got chased off. He didn't go to battle with them. So he's the leader of Jerusalem right now, the children of Israel, taking over from Moses. So now it's just him the one that has to deal with the Lord. Like Moses had to, now it's Joshua dealing with the Lord, and Joshua's asking the Lord, what happened? What's wrong? We ain't supposed to lose because we got you. Okay? Read on.
O Lord, what shall I say when Israel turns their back before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it.
And it's like, what? The Hebrews got chased off? That don't happen. And they say if they hear about it, now it's going to look even worse when this spreads out, that the Hebrews lost the battle. Read on.
And shall ever run around us round, and cut off our name from the earth. And what wilt thou do unto thy great name? And the Lord said unto Joshua, Get thee up, wherefore lest thou dust upon thy face.
So now the way the Lord is saying this is like Joshua right now, forget what you talking about. We got a problem. You praying to me right now, Joshua. Get up off your face. We got a problem. Read on.
Israel have sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I have commanded them. For they have even taken of the cursed thing, and have also stolen, and dismembered also, and they have put it even among their own stuff.
Okay, now we're going to go right back to chapter 6, verse 18. This is going to explain what the Lord is talking about in verse 18. So the reason why you can see this, how so close this was to the Lord saying this in one chapter prior, because we hard-headed. I just told y'all this one chapter back. I just told y'all this. That's why he's angry with Joshua. Get up off your face. We got a problem. And the problem is, I just told y'all this, and you did it anyway. Read 18.
Joshua chapter 6, verse 18. And ye, in any wise, keep yourself from the cursed thing, lest ye make yourself accursed when you take of the cursed thing, and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble them.
Okay, so that cursed thing now is what we're going to see. We just went back and he said, don't do this thing. Now we're going to see what this accursed thing is. Read on.
Verse 12. Therefore, the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies,
This is why they lost the battle.
but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you anymore, except you destroy the curse from among you.
All right, now, right here, we go right back to verse 1, and we see that it was out of who done it? Judah. Judah did this. We see how they trace it all the way down through from, they'll grab, the Lord said, get these people, and he keeps whittling them down and whittling them down. Now make them bring this family out. Now out of these families, bring me that family out. And out of that family, bring me that nigga out. Let's read.
Verse 13. Up, sanctify the people, and say, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For thus saith the Most High Power of Israel, there is an accursed thing in the midst of thee. O Israel, thou canst not stand before thine enemies until you take away the accursed thing from among you.
So the Lord ain't budging right now. The Lord is not budging, period, on anything, because until we handle this business, ain't nothing moving. That's like your parents calling you in from outside and you playing, and you think you only running in the house for a minute, but you run in the house and you in trouble. That minute that you thought you was finna run back up out the door and continue playing, oh no. Oh no, hold up, partner.
Change the plan.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden you thinking about everybody that's outside waiting on you. You in the middle of a kickball game and you was up to kick. And now you holding up the whole game because you thought, okay, I'll be right back. Y'all hold up. And you got your brakes pumped in there.
Didn't I tell you to take out the trash?
And it's deeper than that. It's I don't think I'm gonna be going back outside the rest of the day trouble. You just got shut down. Okay, so this is what's happening. Now read on.
Verse 14. In the morning, therefore, ye shall be brought according to your tribes, and it shall be that the tribe which Yahweh taketh shall come according to the families thereof. And the family which the Lord shall take shall come by households. And the household which the Lord shall take shall come by man, man by man. And it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire, he and all that he hath, because he hath transgressed the covenant of the Most High, and because he hath wrought folly in Israel.
So this is not nothing that the Lord took lightly. The Lord was not playing with this thing. There was something amongst your people, and the Lord is not playing with this. And he say, when we find that man, we're gonna burn him with fire, him and all his stuff and his people. That's how the Lord is PO'd right here about this. Okay? And he say, we're gonna burn him up. Burn them up. And what does that do for the rest of Israel? Shoot, don't do that no more.
He should. He should.
Okay? All right. Read on.
So Joshua rose up early in the morning and brought Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken. And he brought the family of Judah, and he took the family of the Zarhites, and he brought the family of the Zarhites man by man. And Zabdi was taken, and he brought his household man by man. And Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah.
Tribe of who?
Judah.
Okay, so we always in trouble, ain't we? Huh? Always them niggas. Right. Them niggas. Judah.
These niggas?
Treacherous Judah. Thank you, brother. Read on.
Of the tribe of Judah was taken. And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Most High Power of Israel, and make confession unto them, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hide it not from me.
So now, so think about who he is, and he know the process, and it's just like he keeps getting whittled down. He's standing there trembling, probably done soiled his drawers by now, because he keeps getting closer to him, and next thing you know, he next in line. Joshua say, come here. Don't lie about it. He's thinking, how do they know it's me? How they know it's me? But he knew he did what he wasn't supposed to do, but he thinking they ain't gonna find out. That's all. He hid his hand. They'll never know I did this. But the Lord, he forgot. He forgot. He forgot, and we see what disobedience brings. Death. Let's read.
And Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against the Yahweh power of Israel, and thus have I done.
Well, you know, man, you know, just a couple of things I just took, man. You know, I did this. Yeah, I did it. I did it. Read on.
When I saw among the spoils of goodly Babylonians garments.
Now, right there. That's the first time we see it as a Babylonian garment. So that means they've been somewhere. They've been in Babylon. Wherever this Babylon they was just at, this accursed thing for this war that they won, he saw some spoils that he was not supposed to take. They were valuable money-wise. It was a come up for him, but he still wasn't supposed to do it. It's like the bank truck door flying open and the money flying out. Is it free money? Are you supposed to take it? It's not yours. So it was valuable, and you know you get your hands on some of what it do for you, but it still ain't yours. How can you steal something and call it a blessing? Okay?
The Father looked out for me.
Exactly.
He looked out for me.
No, I need
This ain't the little rascals when Stevie prayed for that $5 and it came down. That's the difference. The Lord answered his prayer because he called on the Lord when he needed him. Lord, I need my dog feeding. I need $5. And the Lord dropped it down on him. And he went and got his dog. You understand what I'm saying? That's the difference. So he saw the stuff, spoils of war, but it was not supposed to be taken because it's what he took. All right, let's see what he took.
And 200 shekels of silver.
Woo.
And a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight.
So a wedge of gold.
Come on.
Then
A
I
wedge.
covered them and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua, and unto all the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord.
Now, you think one of them brothers that was carrying the 50 shekels of gold said, I can take me a couple of these shekels out myself on the way back? They ain't gonna know. Or did you think he said, this is what we here for? This is what we here for. This is the reason and this is the problem. You think he gonna double disobey? All right, keep reading.
24. And Joshua and all of Israel with him took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had. And they brought them unto the valley of Achor.
So right here, before we read this next verse, when the Lord said, you and all your stuff, we read the list. We read the list. The Lord, I told you, the Lord is not playing with this thing here. Did you, your sons, your daughters, your oxes, your asses, everything that you got,
And your tent.
and your tent today for us, your Cadillac, your, you know,
Right.
bring all that, all of that. Check all that in. Okay, the Lord ain't playing with this. Check it all in. Read on.
And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? Yahweh shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones.
Brick shower.
Mm-hmm.
And burned them with fire. And and they had stoned them with stones.
After they had stoned.
They say, and all Israel stoned him with stones and burned them with fire after they had stoned them with stones. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So Yahweh turned from the fierceness of his anger.
So you see, he say, turn from the fierceness of his anger. Okay, finish that.
Wherefore, the name of the place was called the Valley of Accord unto this day.
So not only did they do all that to them, they piled up a big pile of stones over them. And it's still there to this day. Where Acorn and his family, and his asses, and all his stuff is still there to this day. All right. Now, yeah, 2 Kings 24:7. We're just showing a few things here. What we're doing, we're moving now through some Old Testament references of Babylon, and we're going to hit some New Testament references of Babylon.
Alas, alas, the great city is fallen.
Seven.
24:7.
Book of 2 Kings, chapter 24, verse 7. And the king of Egypt came not again any more out of his land, for the king of Babylon had taken from the river of Egypt unto the river Euphrates all that pertained to the king of Egypt.
So what I just wanted to show with that verse there, that there was actually a king of Babylon, and he had beef with the king of Egypt, and he won. He prevailed over the king of Egypt. He took that land where the river Euphrates was. So we see in here just another example and then another time of Babylon as we're moving through. So now we're going to hit Jeremiah 28, 1-4.
Everybody there? Reading in the book of Jeremiah, in the 28th chapter, reading verses 1-4. Let's get some understanding. And it came to pass the same year, in the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah, in the 4th year and in the 5th month, that Hananiah, you should know that one.
Yes, right.
The son of Azor, the prophet, which was at Gibeon, spoke unto me in the house of the Most High, in the presence of the priest and of all the people, saying, Thus speaketh the Most High of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, saying, I have broken the yoke of the king of Babylon.
Okay, so right here, the Lord said he broke the king of Babylon's yoke, because the king of Babylon had a strong yoke that the Lord intervened to break this up. Read on.
Verse 3, within 2 full years will I bring again into this place all the vessels of the Most High's house, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, took away from this place and carried them to Babylon.
So that's why he had to intervene, because he had ransacked the temple and took all of the Lord's most precious treasures. And the Lord's like, we got to get them back. Read on.
And I will bring again to this place Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, with all the captives of Judah that went into Babylon, saith the Most High. For I will break the yoke of the king of Babylon.
All right. So in this verse here, we see that Judah went into captivity, into Babylon. That's the point of this, showing that Judah, us, the hardheads, went into captivity because of being hard-headed in Babylon. All right, let's move forward to Matthew 1:17. Daniel. Oh, I got a note here about Daniel that I skip right over that we know that Daniel dealt with Nebuchadnezzar in the book of Daniel chapter 7. That again, the king of Babylon and Daniel himself, the prophet, had dealings with him with the dreams and the writing on the wall. And I'm not trying to go deep off into that, but I was supposed to mention it and missed that. Good looking out, brother.
I put it on the board, that's what it is.
Oh, I'm still giving it to you, brother. I was like, you on your toes. So, yeah, Daniel. Now, Matthew 1:17.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I put his note
It
on the
was
board.
Daniel. It was a note of Daniel. We should already know that Daniel dealt with the king of Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon. I just missed it. Now, read on.
Reading in the book of Matthew, in the first chapter, starting at verse 17. It reads, so all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. And from David until the carrying away into Babylon.
Okay, so right there, until it was 14 generations before David. Unto David, there was 14 generations unto the carrying away of Babylon. It's showing right here, they're basing this, I'm going to say this before we finish it, that here in this time, those two generations, then Judah went into Babylon, into that captivity. Now finish that.
And from the carrying away into Babylon and Mashiach are 14 generations. Now the birth of Yahushua.
That was it. I'm sorry. Because it was based, like when we see AD and BC and stuff like that, how they base it off Christ's birth. This generation, those counts were based off Babylon in the middle. 14, Babylon. 14, boom, then Christ. See that? All right. So now let's get into 1 Peter 5:13. Huh? It depends on a man when he has a child. When Daniel breaks off a generation, he always say it depends on how you're counting a generation. So basically, my understanding what he says that the start of a man's generation is when he has a child. There's his count starts. It's because his parents had him, and he say he don't have any children. Well, what generation would he have after him? So when he has a child, his first child, then you start counting his generation. So we see, let's read this again before we move on. Let's go over this again. 17, Matthew. Okay, I got it. So all the generations from Abraham to David. So from Abraham in between David, there's 14 generations, 14 men. I'm gonna use it that way. 14 men between Abraham, and then there's David. Okay. So then from Abraham to David are 14 generations, and from David until the carrying away of Babylon are 14 generations. So Abraham, David, Babylon, 14. And then after Babylon, Christ. Okay? That's how it's counted here.
Let me not read that.
Go ahead. Go ahead, break it up. Do it.
G1074, Janea, That's where you probably get your genealogy from. It says, father, birth, nativity, that which has been begotten, men of the same stock, a family.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, birth from your
Is there
seed.
a definition down at the
So
bottom?
if he
Scroll
doesn't
up,
have a
read the
child,
definition
he's
at the
not
bottom.
counted as a generation.
Who?
So if a man doesn't have a child, he's not counted.
Yeah,
as a
he
generation.
his generation would end. His bloodline would end. He would be cut off. He would just be done. It's like carrying on the name. If you only have daughters, your name is gonna be gone because they marry off, and that your name ends with them. You know. So
Let him read the rest of this.
It says, a generation, by implication, an age, the period of the person's age, generation, nation, time.
does that do it?
They do it.
All right. First, you went now?
Yeah, what's the difference between 14 and 14? Is that coincidence, 14 is one end and 14 on the other?
I don't know how they count that, man. That's the Lord's count. I don't know how.
How do 14 mean?
Yeah, it just I don't know. I'm not gonna say it's coincidental. First Peter 5 and 13.
So there you go.
Yeah.
In the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5, verse 13. The church that is at Babylon, elected together with you, saluteth you, and so doth Marcus my son.
Okay, so only reason I hit that was to show that this is Paul talking about that there, or Peter talking about that there is a church at this time in Babylon, and that the word is going forth out of Babylon. That like if we travel, we should be able to go to Babylon and have church. Same church,
Right.
same church.
Right.
From here in the old Sears building, there's a church in Babylon at that time. We should be able to visit that church because there'll be our same brothers and sisters who believe like we believe. There's a church in Babylon. All right. Now, Revelations. Yep, we get into the heart of the class now. We know we read on Babylon. First, I want to hit Revelations chapter 1 through 3. As always, for me, I like to. For anybody that's new, or anybody that's out there in the World Wide Web and never read that, because we were always told to stay out of it. So I like to read it up front to see the blessing that we get in.
Yeah, read one first. Read one,
One,
chapter
two,
1, 1 and 2.
two, three.
To see why we should be in Revelation.
Right.
Right. We're in the book of Revelation, chapter 1.
All right, well, tell your pastor to quit talking to you.
Tell your pastor to read this. Tell your pastor to read this himself.
We're in the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angels unto his servant John, who bear record of the word of God, and of the testimony of Jesus Christ, and of all things that he saw. Verse 3, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the word of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein.
Read that again.
For the time is at hand.
Read that whole
3 again.
Listen up. Verse 3 again. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein. For the time is at hand.
Time's at hand, I'm talking right now.
That's exactly what that is. Time was at hand then. So what we just read is that we saw is the revelation of Jesus Christ that God gave to him that he gave it, sent it by his servant, his angel, unto his servant John. The angel bore record of the word of God and of the testimony of Jesus Christ and all things that he saw. And then it says that blessed is he that readeth the words of this prophecy. So your blessing comes from being in the book to understand this prophecy of what's coming. So now let's go to verse chapter 16. No, 14. We're gonna do that from instead of 1 to 11, it's 1 to 13. Signs of the fall of Babylon. Some signs of the fall of Babylon. Just like it's just a little current event type of thing we're looking at. All right.
What group?
1 through 13.
Book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Sinai, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their forehead.
So this 144,000 is also first mentioned in the chapter 7 of these 144,000. In this chapter here is going to break it down, and we'll see. It's going to give a detailed explanation of who they are. Read on.
Verse 2. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn the song but the 144,000, which were redeemed from the earth.
So no, that song that was being played, only these 144,000 could hear. Read on.
Can you make that choir?
We know it's an all boys choir. Read on.
Verse 4. These are they which were not defiled with women.
Okay, so first indication, the way the Lord designed things, if they're not men with the women, it means they're men.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
So the defilement of being with a woman, they ain't done this. Okay, that's one indication. Read on.
These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins.
Okay, so they ain't never been with a woman. Read on.
Are you gonna make that choir?
It's too late. Too late, too old.
These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruit unto God and to the Lamb.
Okay, so these were called out from among men. They were called 144,000 of these people we talking about. They were redeemed from among men. Come out. Come out. I want you. Come out. Right? Let's read on.
Verse 5. And in their mouth was found no guile.
So they ain't said no bad words and things like that, or even said anything against the Lord. It's guile. Right?
Hey, I'm out again.
No foul mouth. Right? Count a lot of us out. Keep reading.
For they are without fault before the throne of God. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, and kindred, and tongue and people.
Okay, I'm sorry, I lost my spot. For them to be without, on the description of them, to continue to know who these 144,000 is, it says that they are without fault before the throne. To be without fault before the throne, you'd have to be without sin, right? So that means they're young men. That's why they have not been with a woman, that they're virgins. They're about the age of 12 and under, before that they've even had that chancing in the nighttime dream, right? That's how young they are. So young boys shouldn't be speaking with guile in their mouth anyway, right?
But then also to be eunuchs who have never defiled themselves.
It's true, correct?
Eunuchs that never defiled themselves more guile in their mouth, and they submitted to the will of the top and the will of God. So they could be even at the age of accountability.
But when I say it said that they stood before the throne with no fault. Right. Okay. So. Right. All right, let's read on.
Verse 7, saying with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him. For the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
So instead of saying Babylon's fallen, because it ain't fell yet, but we're looking at today some of the reasons why it's going to fall. Signs of the things that are happening that causes Babylon to fall. We're not particularly focused on people sinning, okay? It's what this nation promotes as sin, okay? People are doing all of what they're gonna do, but it's where they're doing it at. And where they're doing it at, it's saying, promote this sin. It's not promoting the Most High here. It's promoting sin. It's not promoting going to church on Sundays. It's promoting sin. Okay? Read on.
Verse 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation.
So it means that when you make a mixed drink and you stir it up, what he poured in this cup ain't no stirring. It's straight, no chaser. You see my nose, didn't you? No chaser. Read on.
And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. And they have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name.
So when we just see what the angel said here in verse 9, it says, an angel followed them and saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hands, we see back down here where he just read that and the smoke of their torment is sent up forever and ever. Okay? Y'all know that at John Kennedy's grave and some other people, they have what's called an eternal flame that don't go out. So it's been burning ever since they lit it at Kennedy's grave. We just read here that the smoke of their torment is going to go up forever and ever. We know what that forever, there's a difference forever in here. You see what I'm saying? That's a man-made so-called eternal flame. But the Lord said the smoke of these people is going to go up, burn forever and ever. And they have no rest, day nor night. Now, y'all had a toothache before that woke you up in the middle of the night or kept you from sleeping? Okay? That's your nighttime when you're supposed to be asleep. Day nor night. There's not going to be a 5-minute break in the lake of fire where you catch your breath. All right. And start torturing me again. You don't get no catch your breath. You don't get no ease. None. Day nor night. It don't say 5 days a week and you get the weekend off from being tortured. Then you waiting on the weekend like we wait on it now in this life. Whew, I can't wait for the weekend. I get a break. No. Day nor night. No rest from being tortured. Name a point. Let's read on.
Verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God.
There's a difference in these people.
And the faith of Jesus. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, said the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud.
Yeah, that's it. 13.
Okay, stop at 13.
Yep. Now 16.
Skip to 16.
With all.
Skip to 16 or?
Yeah.
Revelation
16.
chapter 16.
She's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Oh, that's Revelation.
Revelation chapter 16, verse 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying, The 7 angels, go your way and pour out the veils of wrath of the Yahweh upon the earth. What you say?
It's vials. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, vials.
That's all right.
Let me read that again.
Okay.
I be having all time sometimes.
Sometimes. That's why it's sometimes.
Chapter 16, verse 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, Go your ways and pour out the veils of the wrath.
Vials.
Say it again. It's just the comedy hour now. They up here tripping. The vials of the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vials upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sword upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image.
So this ain't a judgment time. No, meaning that they're going to get punished for this. See, the Lord don't let you get away with doing things. So this is why this first angels come and poured out the vial.
Yeah, see, it ain't just me. It ain't just me.
It's you caused it. The vials that those that took the mark, because you did this, now here come your punishment now for this. You don't die, take the mark of the beast and live the rest of your life with the mark of the beast and die and not be punished for it in this life, is what I'm saying. So that's what he's coming for now. To punish them people that did this. Read on.
Verse 3. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man. And every living soul died in the sea. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of water, and they became blood. And I heard the angel of the water say, Thou art righteous, O Elohim, which art a waste, and shalt be, because thou hast judged us. For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. And I heard another out of the altar say, even so, Elohim Yahweh, Almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments.
So in verse 6, that blood that they was given to drink, these was given it to the people who hated God's people. Okay? These are ones that know that you righteous and going about serving the Lord. That's like them knowing we meet here every Sabbath at this time. They out there on the parking lot, specifically targeting us for being here, praising his name. These are the ones that get that. Okay? All these people that you see in the streets crying and hollering and screaming, ain't nobody saying nothing about the Lord. These people out there are not calling out to the Lord together. They can come together for all this other crap and meet up and on the courthouse steps for all this stuff all around this country, all the nation. You got all these movements, but you not once hear them saying anything about, Lord, help us. That's why we come together today, Lord, to help us. No, they want to push these rights. They want to push their own agendas and tell you wrong for not believing in them. And we saying, to hell with all that. Y'all keep all that. Let's read on.
Now, what you say out there on that parking lot?
Like we done had some parking lot incidents. Don't play.
Right. Let's go. We got something for them. I know that much.
Verse 8.
Be out there tripping if you want to.
And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and the power was given unto him to scorch men with fire.
Now, see, y'all understand this. What we reading, as it is written, it's going to happen. So this is just not words on this page. This is going to happen. Like, all of that. It's just like a video game. And you ever have a character that you can shoot fire from your hands? I'm playing one right now. He's scorching them people, your enemies, with fire that you have in your hands. He said this fire is like the fire from the sun. We know what this fire is. Nope.
Shoot that fire, man. Go on, shoot that fire.
So, read that again.
Verse 8 again. And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of Yahweh, which hath power over these plagues. And they repented not to give him glory.
So, what we just read, they get punished and know he doing it. Lord, I know you doing this to me, and I still hate you. Wouldn't you just say, Lord, I'm sorry, I believe in you, stop the heat? You know, I give, but they're unrepentant. So whose children are these? Right. Who was their fathers that placed this curse on these people? We just read about it. Annas and Caiaphas.
And that show also that even to your last breath, you get a chance to repent.
Still get a chance to repent. But these are the children of Annas and Caiaphas that denied the Christ. They're the ones that say we put this curse on our children and our children's children. And we see that curse still goes on. We still see that there's people that it's not a question if there is a God. There's no more question if there is a God. They're saying, God, I know you doing this to me, and I still hate you. These are the people that we live with. These are the people that we have to move around through and navigate through. And we cannot do this without him. Run up on a Satan worshiper. For real. Don't care.
Right.
I seen one. And he said, when he saw me, he said, my God showed me that hedge on you. And my God told me not to mess with you. He said, I seen it on you because my God showed it to me. You better leave him alone. You mess with him, I could lose you. And you ain't strong enough. Because it's what's in me that he gave me. It ain't me. It's him that lives in me that say, don't mess around with that. Don't mess around with
It's
that.
just like they teach in the churches. Don't, if somebody trying to tell you something other than what their pastor said,
Right.
don't engage.
Nah.
The truth will stand on its own, so why not engage?
Exactly. Exactly. That's why there's a certain religion that only wants you to listen to them and don't want to listen to you. Because you shut them down instantly, and there goes their faith.
Now they ain't worshiping the devil no more. You don't want that. You don't want that.
Right.
So you keep your butt away from over there.
They're not worshiping the devil no more. That was beautiful, Zell. All right, y'all, let's get back in here.
Verse 10. And the fifth angel poured out his veil upon the seat of the beast. Vials. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed on their tongues for pain, and blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pain and their souls, and repented not in their deeds.
So they mad at God for the pain that they're in, and they're still hollering at him because they're in this pain, but they still ain't saying that I believe in you.
And this is going on today with all those fields being flooded.
Yeah.
The farmers are not able to make any money.
We getting, yep. We show, we going in there because we showing these things. The earth mourning, because of the sins of the world. The sins is the earth that's polluted. Like I didn't get to grab this story, but the one I wanted to show was what she's saying about. She's talking about the floods, but we was recently talking about in I think it's Los Angeles that hepatitis, the alphabet of hepatitis, A, B, C, D, E, and all that, it's on the streets crawling around out there. That they have to, around the homeless camps, move the camp, and the fire department is washing the streets down because everybody's getting affected just being there. It's that rampant that they got to wash the streets down to stop the spread of it. Okay? We ain't heard of stuff like that before in our lives. Where we come from. All right, let's pick this up.
Verse 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet.
So it said that these three unclean spirits that came out, they were like frogs. Okay, so the appearance of them, but they weren't a frog. They were unclean spirits. Let's keep that straight. So we see that Daniel talks about this a lot of these musicians, these sorcerers, magicians, not musicians. Thank you. Right on. Call them for what you're right. Call them for what they are. So they're mimicking these curses that we're seeing that's coming, and they actually vomited out frogs out of their mouth. Okay, so why would you want to practice this to be able to do something like that as a trick? You're doing this on purpose, right? Because that's what they are. Sorcerers. They're not magicians. They're warlocks. They're witches. Okay, that's what they are. Because they got on a nice shirt and it's a big Broadway presentation. It doesn't change the fact of what it is. Don't be fooled by the presentation. The 3-card Molly, no. That's what they get you with. So, read on.
Verse 14. For they are the spirits of devils.
Right there. They're the
Working
spirits of
miracles.
devils. Sorry, go ahead.
Working miracles, which go forth into the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of Yahweh Almighty.
So you see, like a lot of times in the olden movies with the knights and kings and stuff, there was always a jester, a court jester, and a musician. You know, Michael Jackson traveled with one of these head warlocks, had him around him doing all this magic and stuff at a period of time. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what this is. So read on.
Verse 16. And he gathered them together into a place
You
called.
skip 15.
Oh, my bad. Verse 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame.
So right here, this is the Messiah speaking. For all of those who are not in this one verse, 15 is in red, and he's saying, behold, I come as a thief. So by him saying he come as a thief, stop right there to know that you don't have a schedule for thieves. Okay? It's like this. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't have the scripture to say that if the man of the house would have stayed watch all night, he'd have known what hour the thief came, right? So he had to stay up all night to know what hour the thief came. He didn't just go to sleep and say he'll be here at 4:30, so I'm gonna set my clock for 4:29 and wake up before he get here. You got to keep watch. So that's the Lord is saying, first, I come as a thief. So if I'm coming as a thief, you don't know when I'm coming. So now read on. Blessed is he that watches. So that's what we're doing today. That's what we're doing today. We're not going to be here long. We're watching. We're watching to see the signs of where we at. Follow. Read on. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. So don't get caught with your drawers down. That's what he's saying. What, 24? Yeah, we going there. No, we weren't.
That's the one you were talking about.
Yeah, gotcha. Matthew, I hear you better. I got it. Thanks, bro. Matthew 24 is where the thief is. That when the master say who would watch. Right on. Where we at?
Verse 16.
Yeah.
And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air. And there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, it is done.
So if it's done, that means it's done. We done counted through all the vials, right? He's saying now it's done. Read on.
And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake.
Now, we just saw, was it a week ago, 2 weeks ago now, that earthquake in California?
Yep.
I heard on the news last night, or maybe this morning, yeah, Seattle. So that same earthquake that happened in California has triggered it up in Seattle now. And it's so funny that because it's Seattle, one thing I was going to say, if it wasn't in Seattle, still is that they say, these people, scientists and all this, say that one day California going to fall off.
Yep.
Okay, so now look at the one that just happened was in Southern California. And that one in Southern California triggered today the one in Seattle. So what is that? That's the whole coastline. That's the whole, you just snap it off like a cookie. That's exactly how that pans out. They keep saying that that's going to happen. But are you hearing these people out here crying and hollering and screaming, worried about the Lord's wrath? They're worried about their homes. And they're saying, we got lucky. We didn't suffer that much damage. Read on.
18 again. And there were voices and thunders and lightning, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. So mighty an earthquake, and so great. And the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And the great Babylon came in remembrance before Yahweh, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed Yahweh because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great.
So it wasn't just a normal plague, it was an exceeding great plague. Now, 17.
You said the plague of the hail. That Mexico got that hail?
No, them didn't weigh a talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but did you see the depth of that?
Them didn't weigh a talent.
We're still here. We know that ain't happened yet, but they got a lot of hail down there.
Right.
Where you going, Art?
17.
Revelation 17.
All.
Hell no.
Yep.
Revelation chapter 17. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
So the way that's written is just what it is. He say, the angel is saying to John, come here. Let me show you what's going to happen of the judgment of this great whore that sits on many waters. He called him over to show him this. Okay, now let's look at it. This great schism.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
So it says that this whore has had fornications with many kings of the earth. Okay, so just like what whores do, have many men. And she's here, but all the men drink of her wine. All the nations drink out of her cup. They come to her. Okay, read on.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
So this red beast that she's sitting on has all these names of blasphemy, which means that it's written like somebody that's tattooed up with names all over their bodies, but all of these names are blasphemy names against the Lord. So they stop down and I don't believe in you, Lord. Got all these names. It's like you see people have different tattoos, that some might have a swastika, so you know what that would mean to them. But all these different things that you see, they're symbols of hate. You see symbols of hatred that people have tattooed on their body. These same symbols of hatred that this person is saying, I hate this other person so much that I'm going to tattoo my hatred of these people onto my body. This beast, this scarlet colored beast, is full of names of hatred towards the Most High. Let's read on.
Verse 4. And the women was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abomination and filthiness of her fornication.
That ain't no glass of scissor she's sipping on.
I didn't want to think what that might be.
And it's funny, y'all. I'm putting out a song today, and everything he reads is in the lyrics.
There you go. Hallelujah.
Falling off.
Yep.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Mother of all skeezers. Whew. Read on.
I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints
Mm-hmm.
and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration.
So she's drinking the blood of the saints. So how do you get the blood of the saints? We read earlier where because of the people that did these to the saints, this is the punishment they're going to get. These are the slain saints, that the blood that she's drinking. She's drinking the blood of the, let me see, it's the blood of the saints and the martyrs of Jesus. So like when Stephen was stoned, people that were killed for their belief in the Messiah, this is their blood that she's drinking. So these are the people that hate the Lord so much that have conquered, killed some of his people, and this have their blood that they're drinking. Okay? Now let's read on.
And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carried her, which have the 7 heads and 10 horns.
Mm-hmm.
The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is.
All right, so I know this sounds like where Dr. Seuss got this is, it was not, it is. Okay? This beast that it's talking about is the beast here, and then it ain't, because it's been shut up. It's been put away for a minute. Then it is again, so it appears back. And the people that are wondering about this, it says these are the people whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. So you see how evil these people, they never got to the book of life. It's not found written in there, right? Theirs was never put in the first place.
So it couldn't even get marked out.
Right. These are those people's descendants. These people that hate God, you never had a chance because you knew before the foundation of the world was that person wasn't going to believe in him. But not only is there's a difference between unbelief and believing and knowing that I specifically hate this. It's not enough to say I don't believe in God. Okay? All these movies, they show you first, oh no, I don't have the faith. Oh no, I don't believe. Oh no, this. Oh no, that about him. There's a difference between saying I don't believe in him than saying not only do I not believe in him, but I'm going to prove his non-existence. That's a different mission. You stomp down on your hatred. You are researching your hatred. You are putting work in on your hatred for the Most High. That's the difference. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, first, in Solomon chapter 3, verse 10.
Go ahead and read it. Yeah. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10.
Chapter 3.
3. We're going to the book of the Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, chapter 3.
3 and 10.
Verse 10 through 19. Chapter 3, verse 10 through 19.
We got you, all right.
Start at 9.
You got it?
Yeah, I'll read it. Going to be reading in the Apocrypha out of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. We start our reading at about verse 9. Trying to give Zeb a second to pull it up on the board.
Verse 9.
Yep. About that. In the Apocrypha, the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 9. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Most High. For whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain. Their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. Their wives are foolish, and their children are wicked. Their offspring is cursed, wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which have not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. And blessed is the eunuch, which with his hands hath wrought no iniquity, nor imagined wicked things against Yah. For unto him shall be given the special gift of faith, and an inheritance in the temple of the Most High, more acceptable to his mind. For glorious is the fruit of good labors, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of the unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. For though they live long, yet shall they be nothing regarded, and their last age shall be without honor. Or if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in the day of trial. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation.
But he said last part that he just read, when it said if they die suddenly, these wicked people, if they die suddenly, they do not even have a chance to get it right. There's no comfort for them in the day of judgment. There's nobody to stand there and say, we got an attorney next to you saying, we're going to take our best shot at this. You know, this one last hope. You've already dead. You didn't get to repent yourself, but during your judgment time, there's nobody going to stand there and say, we're going to plead your case before the Lord. Lord, he died instantly. He didn't have a chance. You know all that. That was excellent. Excellent witness, brother. Excellent. All right, let's read this 8 again and continue on.
Verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. When they behold the beast that was and is not, and yet is.
The reason why they wondering and their names that not the people's names had not been written in the book of life, you never been in the book. That's why you wondering about the beast. We reading about the beast. They ain't been in the book to know why this beast is. That's why they're wondering, those that dwell on the earth. Where's this beast? What's this beast? Where does beast come from? We reading where the beast, this is the blessing that we get in being, that says in the beginning of this book. We blessed to know what the beast is. That we not the ones that's wondering, what is this beast? Read on.
And here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen,
Okay.
and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
So out of the 7, 5 of them are already fallen. There's 1 left, and there's 1 coming. These are their kings, right? Read on.
And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is the 7th, and is of the 7th, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are the 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
So these kings here are being prepared. Okay? These 10 kings that they're talking about are 10 kings that they're being prepared out in the waiting. They're being told, when this time comes, you're going to be this king and you're going to have this power. But when does it come? When the beast comes. Right. So these are 10 kings, nations that's going to rise up with this power. Read on.
These have 1 mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them.
That's right.
For he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
So these, the ones that's with the Lamb, that are called, chosen, and faithful, these are different. These are the ones that are with him, different than the ones that's against him. That's against him. They made war with him, but he smited.
And he said unto me, the water which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
So we started out seeing the nations of the earth and the kings of the earth who have drank the whore's wine, right? So all these nations around the world have drank from her cup. But these new 10 ain't messing with her. They're not messing with her. We ain't got time for this. This is something different. That's what she is, a whore. What you've been doing, almost said something. What you've been doing, we ain't messing with you. That ain't nothing. Or something else that's going on. And these are the ones that's making war with the Messiah, but the whore ain't messing with. We above that. Okay, read on.
For Elohim have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Elohim shall be fulfilled. And
Okay,
the woman,
so I was with you, but I lost track. It's the Lord who turned these 10 kings against this whore, because it's his will for this to be done. Okay? The Lord's got these 10 people, kings, against the whore. Let's read that one more time, because I'm sorry I slipped and missed it.
verse 17 again. For Elohim have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of Elohim shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest in the great city,
the woman that thou sawest, the whore, she is
that
great city. Okay?
which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
So the whore that is the city and the kings that ain't messing with her, they're not drinking from her cup. All the rest of the world drank from it. But that's the city. That's who the whore is, where the drink is being supplied. Okay? So now, read on.
18.
Yep. 18, we're doing all. Yeah.
Another chapter in the song, Most High Willing, I'm putting out. All of these last two chapters is all through that song. And it just so happened, this the song, this the class he brought up. That's the spirit.
That's the breakdown of this 18.
Revelation chapter 18. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mighty with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
So right here, first of all, just that when it says in the hold of every foul spirit, that means that this is where the spirits live. Their hold is their habitation. Their hold is their crib. So the crib of every foul spirit, this is where it originates. This is where they reside. Their crib is in Babylon. And they go out from the crib into the world. But they come back to their crib in Babylon. Is the whole, the habitation of every foul spirit. The address of it is in Babylon. Read on.
Verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, and ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plague.
So right here, I love this verse 4. I love hearing him say, come out of her, my people, and do not have anything to do with her, or you gonna get what she got coming. Okay, so as we go out into the world, literally, spiritually, when we leave out of our home, our habitations, where these foul spirits dwell, we dwell in the same place. And you know what happens? By us dwelling in the same place, that means we meet up in the streets. That foul spirit, it's out there. And we meet up in the streets. But we know we ain't riding alone. We ain't riding alone because we have to have him with us to travel from place to place. So these spirits that stay here, we the ones that have to navigate through them by his help. So when we go out in the world, we have to be prepared. We have to be armed up. We have to know when we go off to some other place. It ain't like don't trust nobody, but you got to stay, keep that what you have. You know what you got. You got to keep what you got and don't let nobody get you off your game about it. They're going to come. You know why? Because Satan is, you're the prize. You are the prize. And Satan say, go get him. Offer him this. Offer her that. Yeah. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17.
Therefore, come out from them, and refuse the testimony, saith the Lord. Test not, I will receive you, and I will be your father, and you shall be my son and daughter, saith the Lord.
Yes, excellent, because that's what it is. He said, all these unclean spirits that's out there, they're the ones that's after you. You have to be like, don't mess with it. That unclean spirit has, just like the Satan worshiper, Padman brother, was him. And that was our first meeting. My partner knew what I believed, but he also knew he had a brother that worshiped the devil. And you invited us to the same place. I didn't want to go to his funeral. My Maria made me. She said, you gotta go. He's your partner. But my partner knew. Going off of carnal knowledge, your brother. You know, I don't care. Partners or not. But she made me go. You know? But that's the thing. That spirit has to be able to know, because he's sending them after you. He's sending them whatever shape, form, or fashion they be. They might come in what we're reading about. In the Bible. Drink this. Smoke this.
Be not partakers.
Pop this. Sniff this.
Be not partakers.
Eat this. Look in this. Take this. Don't go there. Okay? That's the spirit that's out there that's offering you that cup of the wine of its indignation.
Delicacies.
The delicacies. That's why they're called delicacies. Sample from my table. It's offered to you like that. Look at her. Look at him. You know what I'm saying? They looking at each other. Okay? They looking at each other. It's out there. So when you go out your door, you have to put on that whole armor. You have to look like a soldier to these spirits. They say, don't mess with him. He got that armor on. And my God told me to leave him alone. You don't want him coming after you and messing with you, because he don't give up. It's not one battle that you win. It's a lifelong series of battles. Because we have to do what? Ultimately win the war. Ultimately, we have to win the war. Because if we lose the war, they can fire. They can fire.
You feel the heat up your back. Ow.
And we read that there's no ease. During the day, no nighttime, no breaks. Let's read on.
Revelation chapter 18, verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Elohim have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you.
And so this payback. What they did to you, do it back to them. Reward them back in like kindness. What they did, back. Read on.
And double unto her according to her works.
Whew.
In the cup which she hath filled with her double. Filled to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit as a queen, and am no widow, and shall she see
no sorrow.
No sorrow.
So what she's saying here, this whore, that other word keep wanting to come out, the one that starts with a B, I'm sorry. So now we all in the same spirit. It just keep wanting to come out. So now y'all know what I want to say. So this whore, is saying that no matter what you think of me, I'm a queen. That's the same thing as these women calling themselves, those that do it, divas. What is the definition of a diva? Because it somehow there's a realm spectrum wide, apparently. Because the ones that say they're divas, there's some that you look at, and then there's other ones that say they're divas, and like the two don't mix. How y'all all divas? And if this is the definition of a diva, some of y'all lying.
Because this Babylon.
That's right. Some of y'all lying about being divas. You know, the definition done got watered down somewhere along the way. Okay, so but this whore right now is saying I'm a queen. I'm a queen. No matter what y'all say, look at me however you want. In my eyes, I'm a queen. Because I got all these kings after me. Read on.
Verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh's power who judge her.
So we go ahead.
Yeah, for us, Revelation 18, right now, it's the second witness to that Jeremiah spoke of in chapter 50. Let me read that.
51.
50 and 11 through 15, the heart of it. Jeremiah 50, verse 11. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of my heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that buried you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished, and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Shout against her round about, and she hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her, as she have done unto you.
And that's what so if you said,
that's Jeremiah 50, 11 through 15.
11 through 15. What did you just say? I lost what I was going to say, because I was going to say something else. About the woman, something she just did.
You put yourself array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her, as she have done, do unto her.
Right. So here it is in verse 6, what Elnon just read.
Right.
Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, in the cup which she hath filled, to fill her double. And which goes right back to what I was saying about to say in the beginning of this. I lost track of what I was saying. So let's keep going. It slipped, but what I was saying was taking us back to the beginning of this, of who she is and who's the people that's messing with her, you know, and then the people that say, no, I'm not messing with her because the Lord has them not messing with her for this reason. So now let's keep going.
Verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived illicitly with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
So like they good thing, the ones that used to kick it with it, they see her burning up now in fire. That means they crying because we can't kick it with her no more. You can't kick it with her no more. It's like she got married. Can't kick it with her no more. She was a skeezer. They got married. Can't kick it with her no more. Let's read.
Verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Shit masters and merchants crying from far off. I'm sorry, y'all. This is the song.
Yeah, let the spirit, what you singing are second witnesses. So keep singing. Second witness verses. Read on. James 5, 1 and 7.
I'll read it. I'll read it.
Hold on. You said, is it 1 through 7 or 1? 1 through 7. I'm like, how's James 5, 1 and 7?
Go to now, you which you are weak, and hide your wisdom. That shall come upon you. Your wisdom shall corrupt, and your garments are smutty. The gold and silver is spent, and the dust of them shall be the witness against you, and shall eat the flesh as in the fire. We have deep treasures together in the last days. Behold, the high of the laborers who have reaped down your field, which is of you kept back by God, right? And the cries of them which have reaped are empty, and the ears of the Lord stop. We have lived in pleasure on the earth, and been wondering.
Mm-hmm.
We have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter.
Mm-hmm.
We have commanded and killed the just. We have lived in pleasure on the earth. And been wondering. We have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. We have commanded and killed. Condemned to kill the just, and do it not resist it. Be patient, therefore, brothers, until the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husband, waiting for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it, until you receive the earth early.
I got it. That's good, brother. Good. That was James 5, 1 through 7. Now, where was we at? 20 and, no, we were at 20. 19, 18, 18 and 11?
18, 11.
All right.
And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men.
Souls of men.
And
that's included in her merchandise. The souls of men.
Decked with gold and precious stones and precious pearls. But in 1 hour he'll destroy the whole world.
All right. Read on. 14.
And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. And all things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee. and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. Like you said, they don't want no question.
Oh, my money go.
Yep, yep.
My money go.
And saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed with fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour, so great riches have come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city?
So real quick, when it's saying like in 1 hour, the city shall be destroyed, y'all just think about them towers dropping. Just think about them towers dropping. They dropped. It didn't take long for them to drop. So you seen them fall in them few seconds. This talk about a whole city, the whole nation, in 1 hour, all of it, down, cast down. Read on.
Verse 19. They cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For 1 hour is made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh hath avenged you on her.
So it's just telling everybody to rejoice. All of what she did to you, I just paid her back for that. Rejoice. So when we think about what we going through that's being done to us in the land of our captivity, that's what we just read. The Lord said, rejoice. I got that payback for you. But the difference is you ain't around to receive what you do. You're on one side. He ain't going to avenge them. They're the ones that are doing it. He's not going to reward them for doing evil. What he's rewarding you is I got them back for what they did to you. But if you're not around for the payback, where you at? On their side. You got to be steadfast and hold tight to get this reward. You got to be, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Because what we have done to us, you got to be there to get this reward. Tell them thank you for getting them back for what they did to me, what they did to us. If you're not there for the reward, you're in the wrong spot. You're on the wrong side, and your reward is coming. What we're reading about, their reward. Read on. We ain't gonna be here long, y'all.
Verse 21. The mighty angel took up a stone like a millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city of Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all.
Whew.
And the voice of harpers and musicians and pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee.
So we know what one of the biggest productions that this country produces, we just read about it, music. Everybody wants to be like these musicians. These rappers are emulated around the world. Everybody want to be like them. Okay? The music that there's produced, we know without going deep into the music game of the sorcery and witchcraft that is performed over the masters of these records, It's the reason why they sell and all the things that they do, that this is Satan, prince of the airways. So this music is what he's controlling. We read earlier about singing praises to the Lord for him freeing us. They're not promoting singing praises to the Lord music in this country. They're singing praises to who? Satan. And it used to be, we would look at it like, oh, that's a Gentile thing, believing in the devil. Oh, no. There's some little rapper out here who is an antichrist and promotes it. And on his stage, he has upside down crosses on fire. Who? Uzi Vert? Oh, that's what that is. Uzi Vert. So it's Little Uzi Vert is the name of the rapper, and that's Lucifer backwards. So if you think about Lucifer being backwards, when his name was Lucifer, he was what? He was in heaven. This was before he fell. His name was Lucifer. So now this little Uzi Vert takes Lucifer's name and uses it backwards. I thank you for that understanding, because the fact that I don't live around it. I don't know nothing about it. So you say I ain't dibbling in it either. That's right, brother. Let it be known. Let it be known. Because youngster told you. So this is my point. That we have people out here now who are promoting their hatred for the Lord, and they're Israel. They're Israelites. So it makes you think, only thinking, that could the Antichrist come out of the nation of Israel. There's one example of one person in our nation saying they hate our Messiah and promoting it and getting all the airplay and everything else he needs to promote it from his God. But we know that this is only temporary. That don't mean because he's on the radio, we got to listen to it. This next song is by Lil Uzi Vert. Next station. You know, so let's pick this back up where we at with this music and stuff.
Hey, Chris, right. You still do news clip?
Do who now?
News clip.
News clip, yeah. Yeah, we almost there. Sit tight, partner. We almost there. Like the ketchup bottle. Anticipation.
Finish in 22. And no craftsman, whatsoever craft he be, shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee.
So right there, this land is what? Not promoting the voices of bridegrooms and brides to be heard. Hey, everybody's going away from marriage.
They doing it. It's groom and groom.
Right, but see, that's what I'm saying. There's no bridegroom and a bride together. It's groom and groom, bride and bride. It's just so, it's not that we gonna ever get used to hearing my husband, huh? You know what I'm saying? When you watching TV and it's just something that, and then all of a sudden I didn't know I was watching this type of show.
So every show.
Right, so we don't get to watch TV that much no more. I can look, I can say this today. It's gonna shock him. Y'all know me as much of a Simpsons fan that I was. I watched the Simpsons from they start.
And tape them.
And bought my first VCR. I spent $400 on a VCR that I still have. Because I spent $400 on it when it broke. I'm like, I ain't getting rid of it. You know, that's how we are. That thing cost $400. I bought a repair book. But I'm getting my $400 worth, even if I still just got it. Okay? I done watched The Simpsons since they started and been recording them. If I'm out of town, I have people record them for me. Go by my house and say, make sure it just plays while you go, you know, shit, stuff like that. As being a Simpsons fan. But a few months back on Sunday night, and I saw two men laying in bed on The Simpsons. I said, y'all finally went that way too. And I ain't watched them since. I have not watched them since. I am done with The Simpsons. And what I mean by that, I thought that we would run the whole series together and I'd watch the whole last episode of the newest one, but I don't care about y'all new episodes no more. Y'all done crossed the most high line with me. And if I love The Simpsons more than I love him, I don't love him, right?
That's right.
Simpsons got to go. Okay, I'm done with The Simpsons. All right?
Right.
So, let's read on.
For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. Verse 23. I'll do 23. 23 from the top. And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. For by the sorceries were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth.
So all nations were deceived by her. All right, y'all. So now what we're going to do, because this is going to end us up, we're going to look at Babylon here. And the way I want to look at this, instead of showing, like I said, the sins of the people, it's the nation itself that promotes the sin. So I'm not going to accuse people of being sinners. It's we keeping the focus on the nation that promotes the sin, that plants sin seeds and waters them and springs them up and grows sin, manufactures sin, creates sin. Okay? So the way I want to look at this is to show in Deuteronomy 28, I want to read verse 15, verse 49, 56, and 68. Deuteronomy 28. Everybody there?
Where you going?
We're going to read 15, 49, 56, and 68. And then the last, well, there's a couple more scriptures here.
Deuteronomy what time?
28.
Okay. 15. All right, we're in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. Start our reading at about verse 15. Then we're going to go to Job. You're talking loud. All right, Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High, thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
All right. Now, looking at the flip side of where we went in Revelations 1 through 3, we saw the Lord say, there's a blessing in you for you to study this book, to know what's in this book, because you're going to need to know what's in this book. And by you knowing it, you getting blessing because it's going to help you get through this time. So right here, the Lord is saying to us, we know specifically he's saying it to his people here now. That Revelations was for the world. But right now, he's talking to his people and the curse that you get. Because we know if we do right by revelation, we get a blessing. The Lord's telling us here, if you don't do what I tell you to do, this that curse I'm going to put down on you. Okay, so now understanding that this curse that he's saying, that's why I'm not going in detail of showing specifically the sins of his people. We talking about the land. We talking about the land. So now let's read verse 49.
Verse 49. The Most High shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee.
All right, so you start at 51, that's what I'm getting at. So the showing in the 49 is showing that he told his people that I'm going to send a nation against you, that it's going to come down on you as swiftly as an eagle flies. So now that we know the correlation that this country's national symbol of all its representation of these United States of America is that eagle. Okay? So that punishment of going over there and getting us and bringing us over here, that came down on them swiftly. It might look like over the period of time of they call it this transatlantic slave trade, however long that lasted, it might not look like it was swift as an eagle, but it was. Okay? It was. And in whose nation, whose tongue y'all should not understand. So we understand that we would have never spoke this language if we were never brought here. Right. We don't know the language that we weren't those slaves that had to learn this language. We've only learned it through our inheritance of being a slave. But there was those slaves that came over did not speak this language, this tongue. Okay, so when we did the class, was it last week? That it showed about Adam and Eve in the garden. It said they were speaking, the author of who wrote this said they were speaking in an unknown tongue that was only known to them. So there's another tongue out there still that wasn't the tongue that our people were speaking when they came over here. See what I'm saying? See all these different tongues? It's not that they were tongues of another nations that we read about in Acts in the day of Pentecost and all these different tongues, and how be it these men speaking our own language, our own tongues. And it was not that it was a bad thing, but this one was. Y'all don't know this tongue. And this tongue that y'all got to learn is the tongue of your oppressors. You got to speak your enemy's language. Right?
And Rob, I want to say something.
Go ahead.
And I believe if you look at it, if you take a person's tongue from them, their nation, it really destroys them.
Mm-hmm.
You can't pass down no like the herd or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just over.
Yeah,
And the tongue is nothing you can do. It's over.
and that's why you see with what he said, these other nations that come in this land speak their what? Native tongue. They bring their what? Customs, traditions. And now this nation is saying, okay, it's enough of y'all that we got to start promoting y'all stuff too. So how many niggas y'all gonna go to Cinco de Mayo?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But we know that it's promoted now.
Right.
It's become a new holiday, but it ain't on the books. They ain't gonna put it on the books and give you a day off to drink margaritas. But we see that every year now it's Cinco de Mayo. We don't know nothing about them. We don't know what Cinco de Mayo means. We don't go Cinco de Mayoing with them. You understand what I'm saying? But what do we do?
But you will keep St. Patrick's Day.
I was just going there. We just went through the 4th of July.
Right, yeah.
Just went through the 4th of July. And look at all the money that was spent and time taken off work. I always like to tell the brothers, well, thank you non-patriotic Negroes for being here. Because you look around your job, it's a ghost town for a week. Hardly no Negroes at work during that 4th of July week. Because they doing what? Celebrating their own captivity. You don't hear them talk about the month before, Juneteenth. That's still not known and celebrated amongst us as a people. It's only celebrated in certain sections. We don't wake up June 19th to be like, I'm free today. Because they said I would. And I'm going to celebrate it today. And I'm going to go buy me some fireworks. And I'm going to barbecue. And I'm going to take off work. We don't even think about Juneteenth. But you sure think about Massa time.
Yeah.
All Massa time. No matter how pro-black you are, and how you down for the community, and how much you love your people and you love your God. 364 days. And now I'm gonna be Sambo today. And eat me some watermelon and chicken, and pop me some fireworks on the 4th of July.
Get your flag outfit.
Flag out, all of that on. All of that on, but you screaming, my people is oppressed.
Right, right.
My people is down. The white man is keeping me down. Let's go to Fireworks City. Ricky Smiley, boy, he talked about it all year long. On every black major incident that happened, they dedicate their radio stations for that day. For you to call in and talk about Mike Brown got shot. All throughout the year. But that week, Ricky Smiley is on vacation this week. This week? Every year. We know them people. We know them people. We know them people. Love their community. Love them and the black man. Soul brother.
Down at the Strassenfest.
Give me a light.
They pop so much fireworks in my neighborhood, they probably eat noodles the rest of the week.
I don't want to tell y'all this. I don't want to tell y'all the story that my mechanic called me on the 4th that morning early. Hey man, I found a part for your truck. It's $150. Bet, I'm on my way. I show up at his house. His daughter come running out. I think, hold on. First of all, that was a bad sign to me because you don't ever mess with me. All the years, all the dollars I done gave you, all the candy that I bought you, that was a sign to me. Today she's messing with me, running up, hugging on me, want to high five me. I got suckered. My $150 for that part for my truck that's still sitting in his driveway went up in smoke that night. And in their belly that night. So I supplied the 4th of July party. Swine and all. Swine and all, I paid for that day. And still ain't got my truck. Still ain't got my truck. It'll be ready tomorrow. It'll be ready tomorrow. My truck's still sitting there. And what? My money went up in smoke. And through the drop. Okay? But y'all didn't have the money, but y'all happy now for what? To celebrate what? And right back where you started out at zero. Because you didn't take my money and go buy the part for my truck. You spent it on your 4th of July celebration. Now you got to make the $150 I gave you to go buy the part for my truck. That's what we're talking about. That's what we talking about. Mr. Pro-Black, I'll bust a nigga in a minute. You know what I'm saying? You love your people that much. You be that hard on your own people, but you still turn around. Yes, sir, about something. On the 4th, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna celebrate you. Let's read on.
Roman candles.
It's for the kids, man. It's for the kids.
Yeah.
Where you want to jump to now, man?
56. Verse 56.
Deuteronomy 28:56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children, which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates.
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to hit that was that because we just read last week where when Adam and Eve, before they transgressed while they were in the garden, they didn't walk on the ground. So when they came out of the garden, now their feet had to tread the earth. And we see here that one of the things that we talk about celebrities and music and stuff like that, about celebrities, that they love that photo shoot of the arrival of the limousine. And then they stick their foot out to show your shoe. So there's a brother and some gators, some women and some red bottoms. But it's about being proud of being on this ground. It's about being proud of wallowing in the mire of this world and this nation and the sin that it offers. You putting your foot in it willfully. And look at, as I do it with my red bottoms on. You understand? So this woman here, at a time, she would not even set her foot on the ground. She was so delicate. Now this is a real diva. That she was so delicate. It means if she could not set her sole of her foot around, she's being carried around. Okay? But now it's pride about the ground and our feet on it. Now, verse 68.
You don't want 64?
No.
It's 68.
Verse 68. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
All right, so we hear y'all. The only reason I grabbed these verses was to simply show that us here now and by this land set up, modeled after Egypt. So we know, without going through all the how Washington, D.C. is set up with all these satanic symbols, the streets are turned in these directions. And if you look at the whole city from a helicopter view, you see a pattern of this, and you see that, and you see this and that and all that. We're not going deep off and showing, but we know that it's set up. This nation itself is set up after Egypt. So there's what we call Cairo, Illinois. There's a Cairo, Illinois. Okay, there's Egypt in the boot heel, if I'm not mistaken. But we know all the cities that are named after cities in Egypt. Memphis itself, Memphis. Saw Jesus went to Memphis. Okay? So the point is, this country and this nation itself is set up after Egypt. So that's what makes the president. It's Pharaoh. If we look at him that way. So we look at The Lord is the one who sets up the kingdoms. So the Lord has this Pharaoh there for a reason. All right. So now we're going to get into the sin part of it. The last scripture, well, I got 3 scripts left because 2 of them are second witnesses. So we're going to read 1 Corinthians chapter 6. All. And when we get through this, we'll be done. Read them all at one time.
Still on
One.
That was us. That Deuteronomy is sporadic.
Reading in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6. Start our reading at verse 1. And it reads, "Dare any of you, having a matter against another, go to law before the unjust, and not before the saints? Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? If then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life, set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church."
So all of what we're reading about judgment, and now we're getting into the judging, the saying to set those that are least, has a less status in the church. Make those the judges. Don't go for the pastor of the church or anything. The least people in the church, use them to judge these matters. Okay? Read on.
Verse 5, "I speak to your shame. Is it so that there is not a wise man among you? No, not one that shall be able to judge between his brethren. But brother goeth to law with brother, and that before the unbelievers. Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law one with another. Why do ye not rather take wrong? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded?"
That sounds like Facebook.
Now, hold on. Real
I'm just saying.
It's coming.
That sounds like social media all day.
That's coming. That's what I want him to do. What we're gonna do, we're gonna read all the way through this whole chapter, and then I'm gonna go back and we'll break it down instead of skipping where we and then go just read it all, and then we'll go back and get into the heart of it.
Verse 8, "Nay, ye do wrong and defraud, and that your brethren. Know ye not that the uprighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yah? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of Yah. And such were some of you. But ye are washed, but ye are sanctified, but ye are justified in the name of the Most High Yahweh Shah, and by the Spirit of our Elohim. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of many. Meats for the belly, and the belly for meats, but Yah shall destroy both it and them. Now the body is not for fornication, but for the Most High, and Yahweh for the body. And Yah hath both raised up the Most High, and will also raise up us by his own power. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of a Mashiach? Shall I then take the members of a Mashiach and make them the members of an harlot? Yah forbid.
We'll read a lot about harlots today, ain't we? You know,
What? Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh. But he that is joined unto the Most High is one spirit. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body. But he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of Yah, and ye are not your own? For ye are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify Yah in your body and in your spirit, which are God.
all right, y'all. Now, all I'm gonna do to finish off this class, when we're done scripture reading, I just want to go read the titles of some of the sins that I picked out just randomly of what's going on in this world. Okay, so the sin list we just read a list. If you look at verse 8 and 9, 6 and 9, where fornicators, idolaters, that's a sin list. There's 10 sins. Shalom, Hebrew, Shabbat Shalom. There's 10 sins and there's 10 commandments. When I counted them up, I'm like, there's 10 of these, 10 sins. There's 10 commandments. So we're going to read of what's going on in the world of these 10 sins. So start out here, we read about the earthquakes and things like that. So New Orleans is already underwater as tropical storm approaches. Okay, Isaiah 24. Somebody grab it for me. Isaiah 24, read 4 through 6.
Isaiah chapter 24, verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the law, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curses devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. The new wine mourneth, the vine languishes. All the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth and tabrets ceaseth. The noise of them that rejoices ended. The joy of the heart ceaseth.
Yeah, okay. So, here's the one. Father chases down thief who stole car with children inside and beats him to death with the help of bystanders. Okay? So, we know about the sin of murder, but this was justifiable. He stole the man's car with his children in him and he got caught. And he broke him up. They killed him. Bystanders jumped in on it and they beat that man to death. He died in his sin. His sin was he stole the car. Yep. Florida woman allegedly urinates in ice cream maker, spits in ice cream. We see that this is what's going on right now with all these licking the Bluebell ice creams and putting it back. There's a lady on the news this morning. She was at the doctor's office And they did that with her daughter. Her 10-year-old daughter took a tongue depressor and put it in her tongue and put it back in there. And then she posted that. This was a tongue depressor. I saw it. And the lady posted the video. Saw her in court this morning. She's facing 20 years for that. They're not playing with this. They showed a brother lick it and do it, but the brother went back and bought the ice cream that he did it too. It showed them the receipt. So he's facing 20 years.
You say he bought it in receipt?
Yeah, he proved it to him. I went back and bought that ice cream that I did that too.
Too late.
Too late. Too late. All nations drink from her cup that we read. China to impose sanctions on U.S. firms in Taiwan arms sale. Okay, so we know that if you're paying attention to politics, what's going on with this president, because I'm not going to get political, but he is the one that is standing up and been saying it all along that the United States is being the other nations of the world have not paid their fair share. And China has been cheating the United States all of these years, going back to Bill Clinton and the Bushes, and back then, all that time, China has been getting over in the trade agreement. And Trump knew that, and Trump then called out all the presidents while this is going on, telling them that y'all letting them get away with this. So he ran and said, I'm gonna fix this. So this is what I'm saying, that the fact that all the nations that drink from the wine of their cup, they've been getting pimped. China has been pimping the United States, and the United States is saying it's time to shut the shop down. Okay. Mississippi politician responds to sexism claims. So we see wickedness in high places that this is not supposed to be. And you see that one of the most rampantest sin in this country is the first one, fornication. No matter, I got to say this real quick. Think about this. The president of Washington University here in St. Louis. Washington University is one of the most prestigious colleges in the country.
Medical.
Okay? Yes, medical. So you're the #1 man at Washington University. So to be the #1 man at Washington University, it's your college that you're running. You're in charge of it. You're the #1 man, the CEO. What do you think that man had to do to prepare himself in life to become who he was? The colleges, the studying, everything that he did, and then getting the job and working his way up all his life to achieve this. Okay? But now you sitting up there at Washington University in your office on your computer looking at child pornography. And all that's out the window. Now you in the joint. That sin was so powerful on him, you couldn't do that at home. You see what I'm saying? The Lord don't let you get away with that. So now your whole life is not only down the drain and gone, but you gotta sit in a cell. And what cells he sitting in? He's still gonna get it. You like little children? You know what I'm saying? So, but his whole life is thrown away. All that he prepared himself to do and become, it's gone. Because you like looking at be little boys too.
Yeah.
All right. Mississippi candidate stands by his rule. No time alone with female reporter. That's what this has come to. There are men who saying, I can't get caught up like this. Period. Because if I don't put myself in that situation, if they lie on me, that's what it'll be. Lie. Ilhan Omar, I'm gonna get started with these people. Ilhan Omar calls Tucker Carlson racist fool after he says she proves immigration has become dangerous. So the politician, my point about this article simply is that the politicians and the TV reporters and the news reporters and all this stuff that's going on. We ain't seen it like this before because of what did you say, Zip? Twitter. Now people have the ability to talk to anybody or put you out there for all the world to see. So you can say something, and now it's a back and forth. So you got this representative lady and the talk show host, Tucker Carlson, banging it out. That's my point. Disagree. Colin Kaepernick's skin appears to darken in Republican campaign fundraiser ad. This is what it comes down to, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's all coming down to. Does this matter?
He looked like Michael Black.
You know what I'm saying? AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Pelosi singling out progressive women of color is disrespectful. Again, this is the, y'all, do y'all, any of y'all know what this is? What's going on with this? This is major. This is the infighting of the Democratic Party. And when she's talking about these four people, she was one of them, Ileana Omar, and her and the two others. There's a big war going on right now with Nancy Pelosi, who's the leader of the Democrats. And these are these new freshmen that done came in now. And they caused it and they're kicking up the dust. See, we supposed to know what's going on. That don't mean I vote. That don't mean I go in that ballot box, but I'm still supposed to know what my enemies are doing. The oppressors of me and my people. And this infighting is major. U.S. man accused of sex abuse at Kenyan orphanage he founded.
I know how I can.
So he's from this country, but he opens up an orphanage in Kenya and he can go over there and do his dirty work. Yep.
Millstone.
Philadelphia man attempts to rob store to pay for daughter's operation. He returns the money. Now that's a round of applause when that's a good one. They show him the picture. I don't have the picture of him. They show the actual picture of him committing the robbery in the store. But he got that money and paid for his daughter's operation, and he paid the store back. No, he got away with it. 35 years after man shotgun murder, 35 years later, they arrest his wife. Okay? She didn't get away with it.
35 years.
Murder. 35 years, she thought she was sitting on fat. 35 years later, shake it in.
She was 84 years old.
And 84 years old. Here's Matthew 24. U.S. House votes to curb Trump's power to start Iran war. Okay, we know Matthew 24 speaks of wars and rumors of wars and earthquakes in diverse places and all these plagues that are coming upon it. We've been in plague time, y'all. We were born in end day times. There's only a couple more of these. What each zodiac sign should order during Mercury retrograde. Yeah, according to this article, you look yourself up by your zodiac sign and it's supposed to tell what you're supposed to do during this time. We did a class on that called What's Your Sign? That disproves the zodiac signs. All right, last one, y'all. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, that's our baby. That's our baby. I know what that is.
The St. Louis World, which would contain all the other sins. I'm not going in here, y'all.
Oh, that could be a whole nother class. Right.
But y'all know this here, 5 Slain and Trap House on Chambers? I was around the street from my crib.
Around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Last week when we was leaving class, me and my rib had to go around that. Because I went up Chambers and I can't get through it.
Yep.
She said, is that an accident? I say, I don't think that's no accident.
I didn't even get it.
Right.
I kept passing by. I kept passing by it, and it didn't dawn on me till I seen the police tape up. I'm like, I used to see them cats sitting out there while I'm at work, riding by them all day, sitting out there drinking. And we see what happened. The whole murder was drugs related. They stole some drugs from some drug dealers, and the drug dealers came and lit them up, all 5 of them. But I would ride all while I'm work 8 hours a day on the plantation. I'm riding up and down Chambers. They sitting over there drinking and kicking it. They get up and beat me to work, and they just be outside. Okay, so thank you all. That's just a look at some of the signs of Babylon's fall from what we're supposed to be looking. We're supposed to be looking out for these signs as his people. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Psalm is 87. All praise, brother. All praise.
You're right. He's the red bottom.
Ariel want to show y'all his red bottom.
You got some red bottom?
Yes, sir. Just happen to have those on.
I can just imagine when I said that you were sitting in the seat going, ooh.
Red bottom. You gonna talk about my red bottom? All right, we'll get this closed in prayer with the Most High's permission.
Yes, sir.
In the name of His beloved Son, Yahweh Shah,
My Lord and Savior.
long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 87th chapter, and it reads, His foundation is in the holy mountain. The Most High loveth the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. Glorious things are spoken of thee, O city of Yah. Selah. Selah. I will make mention of Rahab and Babylon to them that know me. Behold, Philistia and Tyre, with Ethiopia, this man was born there. And of Zion it shall be said, this and that man was born in her. And the highest himself shall establish her. The Most High shall count when he writeth up the people, that this man was born there. Selah. Selah. As well the singers as the players on instruments shall be there. All my springs are in thee. Hallelujah! If y'all got a shekel or two, you know we gladly appreciate it. Yes, sir. That boy to keep my chucks out over here.
What's up, Ish? How you be, brother? What's up with you, man?